Okay.
All right, let's talk smartphone awards.
Let's talk that. Yeah.
Spoiler, we're going to talk about the winners. If somehow you are listening to the podcast before the video, thanks. That's pretty awesome. But we're going to talk about winners.
We're going
so
to
don't
ruin the
spoil.
video. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine.
Not a single hot take in here.
None.
Not at all.
Every single one, perfect pick.
Globally accepted.
Are we allowed to
Universal.
Are we allowed to kind of like say if we had different picks?
I was gonna.
Yes.
Yes, you are allowed to have your own opinion on the show. Despite the Google lawsuit said you couldn't, but now you are allowed to.
I'm free. I'm free.
All right, let's go down the list.
Okay.
Let's go down the list. See if you guys agree. If you
Wait,
have other
is the
thoughts.
Wikipedia page
I like that.
updated already?
Probably.
Oh, I haven't
Almost
checked.
definitely.
Let me check.
Whoever does this is incredible. How quickly they have this.
There's a new
page set up.
category. Yeah, it's updated.
2023. Oh, and the new category too.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
All right, so this is the spoiler. This is the first year we have a new category. So we have an extra trophy, an extra award now to give out. So we'll go through these and let us know your thoughts. This is fun. I'm actually excited to see if you guys have other thoughts because let's chime in too if you have any. All right.
Oh yeah, baby.
First, best big phone. I feel like this was the one. This wasn't necessarily a super easy one or hard one, but it's S23 Ultra for me. This is just a boring phone that does everything well at being big. Phones are like roughly all the same size as far as big phones now. Like 6.8 inches is like the size of a big phone. And this has an incredible screen. It has all of the cameras. It has 2 telephoto cameras. It has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. It has multitasking features. It has a stylus built in.
The stylus. That's what I was just looking up
Yes.
again. Like,
It's got
Stylus is
everything.
dope. Yeah.
Yeah. So I gave a runner-up to the OnePlus Open and honorable mentions to the Find X6 Pro and the ROG Phone 7, but I do stand by S23 Ultra best big phone.
Yep.
I kind of agree with that. This one was a little bit difficult because it's like, how do you define big when you have folding phones that exist?
I agree. I think this was an argument I used to make with best small phone because I thought the flip in terms of like pocket size was small and it
let's
packed
jump
a
right
big
to
punch.
that.
I don't want
or
to
do
cut
you
David
want-
off. I was
Yeah.
cutting David off and he had more
I
fun.
want to say something I really like about that Galaxy S23 Ultra that makes it feel like a truly like big phone is the bezels are insanely small on that phone. Like you look at that screen and it's just like you can barely see any bezel. It's like all screen.
good. Yeah.
So from screen to body ratio on that thing is crazy, and it's not even like curved over the sides or anything to try to make it seem even more screen than it actually is. So
Would you say
I think it's a pretty good pick.
Samsung's the king at screen to body ratio?
There are probably
They've been doing it for a long time. They always seem to have the high numbers. Yeah.
Screen to body ratio companies from in like
Oh,
China,
Yeah.
but it feels the best, I would say.
Yeah. And it's also like it's a 1440p, like LTPO, high brightness, high accuracy. Like it's a great screen.
It feels boring to give it to Samsung because one, their products now come out in January, so it's been so much time since it came out.
That's also impressive, though, that they can pull off a win when they're arguably 10 months behind.
1-year-old phone.
Yeah,
1-year-old
they're
chip.
actually a
That's
processor
crazy.
behind now.
Yeah.
They're already a processor behind.
Yeah, I thought about giving it to the OnePlus Open, which is a phone we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
But yeah, Find X6 Pro is like it's really close.
good.
It just didn't have the extra zoom. ROG Phone 7 doesn't have wireless charging.
Yeah.
It does have much better speakers though. So I was just kind of like, yeah, this is the boring one. It just wins.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Best compact phone. Best small phone. This is a funny one too because phones have been stratifying. And all the small, perfect. All the small ones
that you added
have
that.
gotten
MagSafe thing.
down to like a 6.1 inch screen. Like the smallest, like the Pixel 7a is 6.1 inch. The smallest S23, 6.1.
Yeah.
The smallest iPhone, I believe, is 6.1, corner to corner. So they're all not that small. And the Zenfone 10, which I'm giving like the clear head and shoulders win for best small phone, is 5.9.
5.9, baby.
It's actually reachable.
Yeah.
And it has a ton of features. And it happens to also be an incredible phone. It's like
so
a
good.
physics-defying
In every way.
flagship. Surprisingly good cameras. Really surprisingly good battery life.
Yeah,
Like
really
very,
good.
very
The
good
battery on this
performer.
is wild.
It's an excellent all-around phone, and it happens to be the only reachable one.
And it has something that the best big phone doesn't have, which is a headphone jack.
It does.
I still think that's crazy.
$599. It's got an insanely fast processor. Insanely good battery life. It's got wireless charging.
They
it's
fixed the
tiny.
back.
I honestly think it's nearly flawless.
That was my, yeah.
And by the way, they're probably not going to make another small one. All the rumors are pointing to the
Really?
Zenfone
That'd be sad.
11 Ultra.
I'm really
and no
nervous.
Zenfone 11. So
I've been using it since it came out, so
So several months?
yeah, I love it. My biggest gripe, the ultra wide camera is not the best.
yeah,
Yeah, it's soft.
Which I've just like been realizing more lately because I'll be holding Lane in my arms and try and take a picture, and I'm like, oh, that's not that great of a picture.
warped.
But yeah, but no, I love it. I have like nothing bad to really say about it.
It's so good.
It's great.
Can you show the MagSafe thing on the back of your
It's
phone?
just like this MagSafe sticker.
So you can buy these things now. I recommend this to
it's
everybody on their Android phone because then you can use MagSafe accessories.
It snaps on.
Yeah.
It 3M's on.
Yeah.
My only gripe with it is it comes with this really great little thing that plugs into the USB-C and then has a guide to exactly where, but it's only for like popular phones. So like it'll do it on like all the Samsung phones. You can line it up perfectly. I had to place it on a MagSafe wireless charger and then like gently put the phone above it till it charged and then like press down on the phone.
Oh, wow.
But
You know what you need? Magnet paper.
Oh, true.
it would just look exactly like the sticker that's on it already.
Maybe you know exactly where to put it. That would have been helpful.
And then you could see exactly
It does
what
come
the
in a
ring
pack
is
of
and then
2.
move it over.
They're like $8 also.
Really?
On Amazon. I'll
good.
have,
Yeah.
maybe we can put a link in
I
the
first saw
description,
this, Dan Seifert from The Verge added it to his Pixel Fold, and then now Alex has it on his Pixel Fold too.
It's great.
It's great. It's great.
I gave an honorable mention for the best small phone to the Z Flip 5 for the reason you were talking about. It is able to fold down smaller and it has a tiny screen on the outside that is usable. So when you open it, it's still a 6.7 inch screen. It's a big phone again, but it has the ability to be small. So I gave it that honorable.
My counter argument against that is that I really like the Razr more.
Really?
I think the Razr feels a little bit cheaper, but I think it has a lot more character. Samsung phones to me feel like they have zero character.
So I agree. But it's again kind of in that boring light where like I think the Razr has worse cameras, worse battery, worse software.
Yep.
But,
Well, I like the software better on the Razr.
And I don't know about I didn't use battery long enough to know if it's a worse battery life. But
It's got a terrible camera. The Razr
bad.
in low light is one of the worst cameras I've ever seen.
so I think like as far as flipping phones, like Samsung leads the pack. And again, we're going to talk about foldables later, but like just build quality and just the ability to be the best and have all the features seemed like that's head and shoulders above the rest. Like there's a couple flipping Oppos and flipping Huawei's, but this is the one.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
All right. Next category. Best camera. iPhone 15 Pro. It is the best overall camera in a smartphone for me. And this is coming from a person who shoots a lot of videos on smartphones and takes a lot of photos. And I think when you just look at photos, you can easily sway me off of this. Like there are others that take better photos. You could sway me to my honorable mention, which was the S23 Ultra with that 10x zoom. Crushes the iPhone zoom. 15 Pro Max even had a little bit of an extra zoom. But there are things that like, there are others that do better low light that just have better photo features. Pixel you could argue for, all the AI features. But then video is a huge part of smartphone cameras too. And this always solidifies the iPhone for me because the video coming out of the iPhone is still so much better than all the rest. They added log this year. They added the ability to shoot to an external SSD this year. You can genuinely shoot excellent video on an iPhone in a massive variety of situations, which makes it the head and shoulders camera king for me.
I think that all of the features they added for like log recording and all of the professional features, their USB-C recording to an external hard drive, all that stuff, I think that definitely like makes it a lot better. I will say though that I think that the dual exposure pixel thing they added to the Pixel 8 Pro this year made the video capabilities way better.
Yeah.
You shot an autofocus episode on the Pixel 8 Pro.
I did.
And everyone was commenting like, this looks really freaking good.
Loved the colors out of it. The stabilization was a little bit shifty at times, but it was very sharp and had awesome color, and I loved that about it.
Yeah.
So and the mics were pretty good too. I mean, I need to shoot more in like less windy places to like really get a good idea of the mics. But I was using the background wind removal feature, and it was pretty good. So it's good.
Right.
It was good. But and again, both of them need more manual controls. But if you ask me if I could only use one smartphone camera for the next couple of years, I'm doing iPhone 15 Pro.
Yeah. Pixel 8 Pro did add all the manual controls for the photo mode, which was really dope.
Love that.
So,
Yeah.
I do have a question here before we move on to honorable mentions. And I saw it on Reddit. People are wondering, when you say iPhone 15 Pro, and now looking at some old things here, sometimes you said like the Pro and the Pro Max. In 2020, you only said Pro Max. Last couple of years, you've only said Pro. Are you kind of lumping them together? Or because there is a distinction this year.
Yeah.
There is.
Minimal, but the telephoto.
3 to 5x lenses. That's it.
Correct me if I'm, the log stuff wasn't.
No, it's
is on both.
It's on both, yeah. And this one, I'm lumping them together. You're right. There is a different telephoto, and I think they both are head and shoulders above the rest, so they
Okay.
get lumped together in that way. If there was a bigger difference between the two, I would pick the one that's better, which I think because of the extra zoom on the 5X on the Pro Max, you could argue that that's better. I think some people who just use 3X zoom would be totally
You
fine
could
with
argue
it.
that's just preference at that point.
Yeah, it's a
What
small
would you
difference,
rather,
honestly.
yeah.
Having shot with both, it's not a giant difference. Samsung has a 10X, like that's a big
Yeah.
difference. These two, I'm just putting iPhone 15 and 15 Pro together at the top.
Okay, so if anyone wondering, you're talking about both.
Or 15
Okay,
Pro
yes.
and 15 Pro,
Pro
Max.
and Pro
So, yeah,
Max.
sorry,
Yeah.
Pro and Pro Max,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I gave the honorable mention to S23 Ultra for the photo stuff. And if you want to know the winners of the blind smartphone camera test after a few million votes,
Yeah, let's talk about that.
we've got them. So in standard mode, which was just a photo of me in front of the window in daylight, the winner for all of the masses was Pixel 7a.
Let's go.
Second place.
Yeah.
Phones
right?
always win. I love
Didn't
it.
the A phone win last year too?
Yeah,
right?
it did.
It
Yeah.
won last year as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. The second place was the Pixel Fold, and the third place was the OnePlus Open.
So am I correct that the Pixel Fold has the same sensor as the Pixel 7a?
I don't think so. I think they told me it was new sensors.
It's new, but it's the same
Oh.
size?
same megapixel count.
Okay.
Same 50 megapixels.
My theory, which has been true since the Pixel 6, in my opinion, is that Google they keep updating the sensor size, but that algorithm is still made for the smaller sensors, and they have not updated the algorithm. And so it's made for this small sensor world where you have to like do a bunch of noise reduction and all this other stuff. So that algorithm like isn't very necessary for the larger sensors now, which is why the smaller sensor pixels keep winning. Because it works better on the smaller sensor pixels. Whereas the new ones, I've noticed that like pixels can overexpose really easily now, and like there's a lot of
get a little HDR-y
yeah.
process. Yeah, a little over-processed sometimes.
They don't really know how to handle all the extra light you're getting from the bigger sensors.
It got a little more interesting in the other categories as well. But yeah, I was interested to see like Pixel 1, 2.
yeah,
Not 8 Pro though, just 7a and Pixel Fold.
which
Interestingly.
again, smaller sensors.
Interestingly.
Just saying.
So then we got to low light, and the winner for the low light was iPhone 15 Pro for the masses.
That's kind of surprising.
That made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Again, these are all full auto. The second place was Pixel 8 Pro, and the third place was Pixel 7a.
Wow,
Again.
Pixel dominating.
So Pixel's showing up as 2-3, but iPhone 15 Pro having the best low light photo. These, for whatever reason, I mean, we took this on the roof with me in front of like the city background. I am dimly lit. A lot of HDR going on. You can see like a halo around my head in some of them, and they brightened me up, which was cool, but they looked a little weird.
There was a Reddit post that the haloing was so bad that somebody was like, "What's happening? Did this get messed up?" It's like, no,
Semantic
some phones just are
segmentation.
not great at doing
Yeah,
it.
man.
Yeah.
When I imported them, looking at them all side by side, I'm convinced like 2 of them darkened the sky and brightened my face to make it more like poppy. Yeah. It looked cool in the moment, but it was like, that's not a natural looking photo.
Yeah.
That's not what I look like in that moment.
Wait, David, why did iPhone surprise you for?
Because the low light performance is like not generally something that Apple like hyper focuses on, but I think that their color in low light was better than almost everybody else.
It had the most natural color. We only did 3 photos, so there's a ton of other variables that were not tested. I think if you had a moving subject, this would have been very different because some of them automatically did a long exposure for low light, some didn't. The iPhone, I think, did a 2-second exposure for this particular shot. Some of them were just like, bam, single shot, blast the HDR. And if you were like moving, that would work because I would be like frozen, but the iPhone would have me blurred.
Right.
So there's a bunch of variables that weren't tested here. But for this, me sitting still outside in the dark, pretty good.
Okay.
Last one, portrait mode, which was just me cut out from a background, normal looking shot. The winner was the Pixel 8 Pro. Dang. Second place was actually the Samsung Z Fold 5, interestingly. And third place was the iPhone 15 Pro. The portrait mode shots had the biggest variance between them all. Different focal lengths, different cutout strengths, different color characteristics, lots of stuff going on.
Yeah.
I think I also ended up with my winner being Pixel 8 Pro here. But yeah, Pixel podiumed on every single type of test.
That's
which is
crazy.
interesting.
You know what's wild is that we tested 20 different phones, tons of different manufacturers, and the only 3 manufacturers that landed were Google, Apple, and Samsung.
And the OnePlus Open grabbed
the
third
OnePlus
place.
Open, right?
grabbed a bronze medal in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like watching the Olympics where they're like, dang, it's the same 5 countries.
Well, the funny thing is, like, these are the 3 companies that everyone says, like, oh, their cameras are not actually as good as they say they are. actually these other companies are better. But then they win the blind test.
This is as voted
Yeah.
by you guys.
Right.
This is not me and my winners. This is I put them all up blind and you guys voted millions of times. And these are the ones that had the highest ELO ratings at the end for each category.
I picked the Vivo for the
Yeah,
portrait mode.
There's
one.
a lot of time.
winners are
Vivo
weird.
sneaks in there a lot.
My winners were a little different from this list.
Yeah, mine
Yeah.
were really different from this list.
I think my highest standard was the OnePlus 11.
Oh,
Weirdly,
I had the it's a Fairphone 5.
you did.
Wow.
I remember that. That was a surprising one, actually.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Also, for anyone wondering why we didn't do a full video on this year, is just like camera improvements are pretty minimal every year. So like we found when we used to do the bracket style, the video each year kind of was very similar, but we still wanted to play the game because it's fun for the audience.
Yeah.
So that's why this year the website was up. You just straight up got your results. There's no waiting till the end. And then we just tacked it into the smartphone awards. We do plan on doing a video either the next time we see a significant, big, interesting thing, or probably like every couple years where we feel like the camera improvements are getting exponentially bigger.
When there's some big changes or big
Yeah.
learnings, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Couple more. Big my value award. This was just a bloodbath. It could have been any one of like 5 phones. I ended up going with the one that again almost feels like it's too easy of a pick. It's just the bland middle, everything you need, nothing you don't, A54. I think it launched at $400. I think it's like close to $330, $320 now.
Samsung Galaxy A54 for those that don't know.
Samsung Galaxy
Yeah.
A54.
Yeah.
Awesome 54 is what they want to call it.
Awesome magenta.
Yeah. Literally, my analogy in the video was like, you know how someone asks you how your day is and you're like, it's fine. It's fine. How's the screen? It's fine. How's the cameras?
How is
Fine.
work? It's fine.
Fingerprint reader? It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Battery life? It's fine.
Fine.
It's the
Yeah.
default skin of like
It's the generic
smartphones,
phone that you get.
Yeah.
And it's fine because like that's all you need.
Yeah.
And it's everything you need. So it's totally reasonable pick for most people to just live with that phone. So I like it. I gave my runner up to the Moto G Play, which impressed me at $169.
Crazy.
And an honorable mention to the Pixel 7a, which is $500 now, but did actually get noticeable improvements and is a really good phone.
Yeah.
I think the Zenfone 10 is a great value.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
I do think value generally should stray less, but $600 for a phone that I
Yeah.
switched from like very good pixels and
Yeah.
very happy with.
That's a
For
great
flagship
point.
specs too.
Yeah. Little Stan over here, yeah.
But you could buy 3 Moto G plays.
I'd rather have one Zenfone. It's not that good. Like the G is impressive because you are getting like a pretty big screen. It's 90 hertz and it's like very usable. Because when you I've tested some really cheap phones, and when you go down in price, they get slow and they get real bad software support. And that one was at least decent at everything. So I was happy about that. But you're right. I don't know if I felt like there was like a cap to what I could give a value
No, for
award
sure.
to.
I agree.
Like I wanted, I don't know, could I get
Well,
an
we did.
$800
We
phone?
gave Pixel 6 and Pixel 7 twice best value because those were this year it went up $100 on both
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
But previously those values were
Really good.
They were up higher, but they were super worth it.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. Best battery award. iPhone 15 Plus. 2-day phone. There's not a lot of phones I can say that about. And it's a 60 hertz phone. And the other 2 phones that I mentioned, if you set them to 60 hertz, are also 2-day phones.
Yeah.
Which are the ROG Phone 7, which had a 6,000 milliamp hour battery, I believe, and
yeah.
the Zenfone 10, which if you set it to 60 hertz is going to be a 2-day phone.
Yeah.
ROG Phone 7 does not have wireless charging.
No.
Zenfone 10 does not have particularly fast charging, but it's still good.
I think it's 30 watts.
Yeah, it's decent.
Yeah.
This is the largest battery ever in an iPhone, and I just couldn't kill it, and I just had to give it the award. It's that good.
Yeah.
Looking real quick, looking at this list on Wikipedia, in 2014, your first year, you did not do a best battery award. I've never noticed that. You also didn't do best foldable that year.
That's true.
Weird.
That's
Weird.
But no, I like
flip phone.
best battery feels like one. Actually, funny enough, the categories have been exactly the same since 2014, except for that first year, no best battery, which seems kind of like
Yeah, and I changed the design
standard?
award. The design
Oh,
award
yeah,
started
yeah.
off as like best build quality, and then it was,
Yeah.
and then I just changed it to craziest design, and now it's just something design award related.
something that was a little outside of the box or
Which we're about to
interesting.
get into.
Or noteworthy
Yeah.
design. So let's do that one. Design award. This was actually it started off being the hardest one to give, and then it turned out being the easiest one. Because it's always like, I can't give this to like a plastic phone. I can't give this to a phone that doesn't have a headphone jack. I can't give this to a phone that doesn't have like flat display and like all the things that we need a phone to have. So it's going to end up being the boring one. It's going to end up being like the S23 Ultra or something.
I'll argue a plastic phone that could have been mentioned, the Fairphone,
I've got an argument for this one
because
too.
the Fairphone, like design-wise, is designed to be replaced and stuff like that. I'm not saying it should have won, but that is a plastic one that does have a different design choice that
is
should
fair.
be applauded.
Definitely a notable design. And in that particular way, it's interesting. It's still a thicker phone. It's still, is it water? I think it is water resistant, but it's still compromised a little bit.
Okay. I'm not saying it should have won. I'm
I
just
like
saying that like plastic shouldn't immediately.
Fair.
You can do good things with plastic. Plastic, revolutionary.
I did disqualify plastic.
What's Ellis's crumple phone?
Oh, best design award? No, it's 2021's iPhone 12 mini, baby. Listen, okay, listen.
Okay.
I had to get the back glass repaired on this guy a little bit ago. And I went to the Apple store with my Apple Care, and it took forever. It took like 6 hours for them to do this. And so I finally came to pick up my phone, and naturally I was like, what was going on, right? And the technician was like, I'm so excited that I get to sit down with you and talk to you about this. He said, first of all, you have, and this is a quote, the collector's iPhone. He described this as the best iPhone one could own. And he said specifically, it's because it is the strongest iPhone Apple has made since the X. That is the word from the technician.
What does
He
that
said,
mean?
Well, I just like that he-
so hard. Not only is it so hard to break these things, which I can attest to because I know case and I drop it every single day.
But you did break it.
I know you were at a
know that.
repair appointment. That's what I was trying to like. That's so funny.
But he was explaining that the railing and front glass of the 12 mini is so strong, it's almost impossible for even a technician to take them apart without completely breaking the entire
You know
phone.
what's funny is that's why they changed the way that the iPhone 14 was made, to make it easier to take the
Repairability.
back off, because it was too hard to repair and it was costing them too much money.
think that was
so
this
they made
year,
it
right?
more
It was all one
15?
piece.
Anyway, this is all to say, greatest iPhone ever made in my hands.
I would argue that the
Purple 12
13 mini is better because it has much better battery life,
Well, if it's just the design award,
but it doesn't come in purple. So.
I have to disqualify them both because they didn't come out this year.
Yeah. Also, fact check, that was 2020, not
Yeah.
2021.
Oh, either way,
Yeah.
this phone is pretty much brand new, so I think it's eligible.
Ellis's iPhone 12.
Yeah, refurbished. Yeah.
One best design.
No, I gave it to the Honor Magic V2.
Right.
Because
I forgot we didn't even
it
get that.
That phone
made-
was dope.
Yeah, it was incredibly. It was just a physics-defying phone again.
Yeah.
9.9 millimeters, biggest battery in a foldable. Just that by itself was like, wait, hold on.
5,000 milliamp hours. It's crazy.
It has the full triple camera array. It has like all of the folding phone stuff, corner to corner outside screen, great aspect ratio, really, really good design.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
shout out to them.
Pretty
and it's
crazy.
a folding phone, which
Yeah.
is crazy because next category is the first ever best folding phone trophy. New award for 2023.
Did you guys get tagged on Twitter a bunch? Because apparently, like 6 months ago, we said,
Yes.
"Oh, we're gonna do the new folding phone category." When it happens, say you can tell people you knew about this because of the podcast. And I forgot we said that. And I just got a bunch of tweets like
Yeah.
at me. I was like,
Yeah.
"What happened?"
We also said we'd pin the comment of whoever tweeted at us first.
Oh,
So we need to
good
find,
luck, Adam. I did. Someone did say you know what to do, and I was like, I do not. So
we need
thank
to
you.
find the first person that tweeted at us, and we will we'll pin the comment for
That's
this.
gonna
Let me
be
try and find the
episode.
first person who tweeted.
You
me
got
while
this,
you go
Adam.
through. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's the OnePlus Open this year. It's the best folding phone that came out this year. It's the most complete. It is a
Yeah.
full flagship, a total banger. Like the screens are awesome, super bright, super responsive, super high-end specs, great battery, full-on cameras. You saw it get that bronze medal. It had really good cameras. And the software was actually really good. Little bit of interesting new multitasking features with the way they organize the different windows around, the panels. So
Yeah.
if you made me pick a foldable to daily, that's the one I would pick. I would pick it by a slim margin personally over the Pixel Fold, which
Right.
I gave my runner-up because that, for whatever reason, well, I know why. It's because it's the aspect ratio and size, the passport stuff. It's awesome to use it closed,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
But it's a folding phone, so I got to open it sometimes, and
Yeah.
it's not as good open. So that was my runner-up. And honorable mention to the Z Flip 5, both because it's the best flipping phone and also because it feels like Samsungs were the only ones that didn't have some sort of build issues, whether it's the screen or the hinge or something like that. Samsung's been at it the longest, and they're doing the safest design, which is why they didn't win awards. But honorable mention for being durable.
Yeah. I'll say the Pixel Fold's interior to screen is pretty bad.
Yeah, the bezels are pretty big.
It's just like, it doesn't look like, it's kind of oily. It just doesn't look nearly as good as something like the OnePlus Open or the Honor Magic V2.
The OnePlus Open has almost no crease too.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's basically the same exact hardware as the Oppo Find like N3 Fold or whatever it's called. But
it is the exact same hardware.
Yeah, same hardware.
Yeah.
It's good, man.
I really wish that Oppo kept making the small Passport foldables, that they stopped with the Find N2 Fold.
Oh, they stopped.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
At least so far, because they switched to a much bigger phone. That's part of the reason I really like the Pixel Fold, is because it's
Just
shorter.
that size, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Also alert slider. Didn't even mention that.
Oh, right.
All right. I also did a most improved award. I kind of like this one. Just like, let's acknowledge the biggest delta between last year and this year. And I ended up giving this one to the Nothing Phone 2. Yes, the hardware is slightly improved and it has like a new curved back and better LEDs and more control over the glyph and stuff like that, but also a big software jump in the whole rewrite they did with Nothing OS, and now it's on Android 14 with Nothing OS 2.5, and it has a lot of character.
And it has iMessage.
And it's got the blue... oh, wait.
Oh.
No, wait, sorry, no. No, it doesn't.
No.
They don't have that anymore.
Close.
But the phone itself...
Deep cut.
Yeah. I mean, that would have locked them into the spot for sure if they'd gotten that through, but it doesn't have blue bubbles. But it is still really good. And I gave my runner-up to the iPhone 15 because they've had Lightning for a decade, and it has USB-C this year. That's crazy. So there you go.
That is a big improvement.
Must improved. A lot of other phones are like almost the same as last year, basically.
Yeah.
And like Zenfone 10, I'm glad it's almost the same as last year. I'm not mad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It's just slightly better.
Yeah.
In every way.
Bust of the year. The Solana Saga crypto phone. Now listen. Listen. I hear you. I'm not ignoring you. I hear you. There are a lot of people, mainly on Twitter, mainly with crypto in their bio, who have a lot of thoughts about how the resale price of this phone has gone up so much because you got to spend like $2,000 to get one on eBay now. Did you know that?
Yeah.
They're like reselling
$2,500
because all the bonk and all of the, what is the crypto
Clanosaurs
that
and
you
the
get?
free honeybee toy or
All of
whatever.
this-
No. It's called Beamium. Get it right.
All of the stuff that you get with the phone at the moment
Is worth
is very valuable.
money.
All of the limited edition NFTs and stuff that you get with the phone are actually quite valuable at this point. So if you didn't buy the phone, you missed out on a bag. You could have sold it for $1,000 on eBay.
Generational wealth.
Here's the thing. That doesn't make it a good phone.
Also,
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Also, on top of that, we have always said that we judge these phones for this based on release MSRP and things that happened at release.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of times by the time we're into this, people are like, no, the Samsung phone's so much cheaper now. The value should be this, or my T-Mobile gives me buy one, get one free. And those are great deals. And bonk is cool that it's bonking off or whatever. But like, it did not happen when the phone came out and when we first looked at the phone.
Solana was...
And we don't get to, if anything, did we shoot the smartphone awards already before
Yeah.
this spike happened?
We did actually.
Yeah.
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 So the other thing is like, okay, this was it was $1,000 when it came out, whatever. Then it was $600 when I reviewed it. But the actual phone itself isn't good. So this was let's just say it's a normal $600 phone. It had a pretty solid build quality. This is the thing. This was made by the same team that made the Essential Phone 1.
Yeah.
And it was made of ceramic and it was heavy and it had the colored buttons and it had like a nice design. It was like a Fairphone but made of ceramic. It was cool.
Yeah, true.
Fingerprint reader on the back. That's a throwback. I liked it. It was a throwback design. But then from that point on, you got worse SoC. You got a pretty bland display. You got
Bad viewing
a 4,100 milliamp hour battery, which in a phone this big is not enough. Cameras were not good, just straight up not good. And then the software is basically stock. They didn't add anything to the software experience other than the Solana features.
The App Store.
The DApp Store, exactly, with the developers of the DApp Store. So I will add this asterisk for you. If you are a really invested Solana holder already,
or even into crypto.
Still,
If you
No,
are
no,
super-
but it's like not even in
but
crypto.
not
You
even into
have to be
crypto.
like into
Oh,
the
it's specific,
Solana
okay.
chain.
And
Yeah.
the thing about the App Store too is that you can't only use the apps on the Solana.
You sound like you're
Saga.
hiccuping while saying App Store.
It's not like you can only use the apps on the Solana Saga. You can use them on any Android phone. It's just a curated list of apps.
I mean, you get the seed vault. There were a couple things that were built into the phone that were unique.
The seed vault is cool.
Which is why I will say, if you are like all in to that ecosystem, then that feature may push it over the edge for you to want to still spend $600, or I guess go to eBay now and spend $2,000 on a phone with a subpar display, subpar battery life, subpar cameras, and subpar software because you have that feature working for you. In which case, the runner-up is the bust of the year, which is all of the concept phones that didn't come out this year. You know who you are.
The Solana phone came with a really cool USB cable that had a little switch that allowed you to do only charging or charging plus data.
Still use that cable.
And they were selling it on Amazon for like $30, but I can't find it now.
Oh,
So
so that makes it a good. Just kidding.
MVP.
Yeah. Okay.
MVP.
Also, if you thought Marques, who doesn't talk about crypto at all, was going to think this was like the greatest phone ever for someone who doesn't use crypto, I just don't know what to say.
I tried to give it a chance. I tried to like actually review it as a person who didn't have to spend the money. I bought the phone. No, I didn't. I got the phone sent to me and then I gave it a chance, which I didn't have to. And I really like started to use the phone for a while. So that is my L of the year. And now we get to the W of the year, which is the phone of the year, the MVP. There's a bunch of ways to find this one. I could just say it's my favorite phone of the year, the most impactful, the most well-rounded, whatever. But my phone of the year is the Pixel 8. Google Pixel 8. And it's a nice graduation to finally, like, I think starting to hit the stride of what they intended when they started making Pixel, which it took a couple years. We're on Tensor G3 now. We're on like this new third generation of this thing that they started doing. But awesome screen, much brighter, 120 hertz LTPO.
Well, for Pro.
No, the Pixel 8 as well.
Really?
120 hertz, yeah. It's not quite as bright, but it's still 2,000 plus nits. It's an awesome screen. It's a really, really good camera, as we already know. Tons and tons of clever software features. The only thing I don't like about it is the artificial gating of features from the Pro phone.
Right.
Which is almost like not its fault. Like if that Pro phone didn't exist, then all these features would be on this phone too. But honestly, 7 years of software updates kind of sealed it in for me. I think that's an awesome promise. And if they deliver, I have no regrets about this being phone of the year.
There were some gates that were a little bit more legitimate. Like I did a lot of research into how video boost works, and you actually do need a lot of RAM to make that work. Okay. So I think the 12 gigs of RAM versus the 8 actually did help it. But I think that a lot of the features were artificially gated. So
100%.
yeah, but 7 years of software updates is crazy.
Yeah. I did have some, a runner-up, which is the Zenfone 10.
Yeah.
The nearly flawless Zenfone 10.
I think that's my phone of the year is the Zenfone 10.
Really good.
Personally.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I kind of
And
dig
then it's missing a few software features for me, which I still keep coming back to the Pixel for.
Yeah.
And then honorable mentions to the iPhone 15 Pro, which is just a rock solid phone that finally has USB Type-C. The S23 Ultra being the boring one generation of chip old flagship that's still incredibly good. And the OnePlus Open, that's foldable of the year.
Yeah.
So that's my smartphone awards.
And the Solana phone.
And not a single hot take in here. I like the awards. If you guys want to watch the full video and all the breakdowns, and even though you already know the winners, you can still sort of enjoy the lead up and the descriptions of each phone. You can watch the smartphone awards. We'll link it below. Damn, I'm fresh out of ideas for Clips Outro.
That should be the Clips outro. Thanks for liking and subscribing. This is the Clips outro. Marques, I'm fresh out of ideas. Well, it's the end of the year, so we got till next year.
Yeah,
I guess.
I got to the last week. I just ran out.
We're out.
I'm straight out of Clips Outros.
That's true. This is the second to last episode, though.
Got 50 weeks in.
But we recorded the other one a week early, so we were still ready.
They can't know that.
Yeah, but my
not?
hair is shorter.
That's secret.
It's secret.
information.
We can't
Well, if
pull
you're-
back the
Get a haircut.
curtain.
If you came to the Clips outro, then you know the secret behind Waveform.
Is that we don't prepare clips outros. Usually we just say some stupid shit and make it the clips outro.